Good morning. I am so excited to welcome you here this morning to the Lower East Side Girls Club. My name is Michelle Greer, and I'm the Chief Program Officer of the Lower East Side Girls Club and the Center for Wellbeing and Happiness. Welcome to our home. We are thrilled to host the Honorable Governor Kathy Hochul, the first female governor of New York City. For over 27 years, the Girls Club has centered the lived realities of girls and families. We are committed to the community care and have expanded our programs to serve the whole family through the Center for Wellbeing and Happiness. Since our inception, supporting the community through meals and food has been a part of our practice. We were born out of a need for girls to have a safe space for recreation, play, and joy. Mothers, aunts, and siblings came together in the living room right across the street at the Jacob Reese houses and said, we need this moment, we need this now, and they did that around a table with food, right? We know how moms and aunties bring it together. And so food is how we nurture each other, it's how we nurture your community, and it's how we say we care. Today, we continue this legacy by offering daily warm meals to our youth members, a dry pantry for our center members, and a weekly community pantry bag service where we serve over 1,700 families in this community. We deeply understand how the cost of living and inflation affect our community at this time, and we are thrilled that the governor is addressing this issue head-on with critical funding via summer EBT. I am honored and humbled to introduce the Honorable Governor Kathy Hochul.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Who woke up hungry today? A lot of little kids do. In a state as prosperous as New York, we have children waking up hungry. And when kids grow up hungry, they can face not just that immediate sense of yearning and feeling unsatisfied and a distraction because they can't focus. It also can lead to a decade of health issues. Everything from chronic depression to heart disease, and making sure that our kids get the nutrition they need to grow up healthy and strong is one of my top priorities. No child should ever go hungry because the cost of living was just too damn high for their parents and their families. And their parents face a terrible choice, often in our own city, blocks from here, trying to figure out how to pay the rent, get the groceries, feed the kids. And I walk this city every day, every single day. I noticed two things as I was walking to my breakfast this morning. I swear there's a baby boom going on. Everybody I'm seeing is pushing a baby in a stroller. Moms and dads and caregivers, so that's a joyful thing. But I also walk into grocery stores, do my shopping, and my jaw drops when I see the cost of groceries right here in our city and across the state of New York. I mean, a tube of toothpaste, I picked it up. This was not the largest size. Mid-size was $14.99. $15 for a tube of toothpaste. You know how fast that goes when you've got a big family? Okay, you know what I'm talking about. And I also know that when babies are little, they're really expensive, right? Okay. I could not wait until I had to leave my job because we didn't have any childcare. My husband was a government worker just starting out. 2 little kids, very close in age. I'm Irish, that's what we do. And I could not wait till we could get the kids out of diapers and formula because those two combined, and I'd run out to the suburbs and try to stock up the car with all the, the large sizes to cut down the cost. And I said, we're going to be rich when we're done with diapers and formula. You know that. We're going to feel rich. So now as a grandma of a little 2-year-old, I know what families are going through. They're constantly outgrowing their clothes. And I'll tell you this. When I learned that our child tax credit only covered 4-year-olds and up, I said, who makes up laws like that? Clearly not parents, because they're outgrowing everything every 3 months. The clothes say 3 to 6 months, right? Then it's 6 to 9 months. They're doing that because the babies are growing. And when they start walking, the sneakers and the cost of getting kids ready for school. And food becomes a real burden for people. And it's too much for our families right now. And sometimes you just have to stand up and say, what is going on here? And today I'm going to be updating you on some of the initiatives that we're using to fight the rising cost of living and to keep New York's children from going hungry. And I want to acknowledge my partners in this effort. We have extraordinary leaders here. And I want to thank Michelle for welcoming us here. This is not my first visit, it's not my second visit. Councilmember Carolina Rivera and I have been here a number of times, right? Where's our councilman? We've been here a number of times. And the energy we get when the girls gather, we have a chance to look them in the eye and talk to them about how all the possibilities that lie ahead of them. I want to thank you for joining me here many, many times. We also are very fortunate to have our member of Congress here, and you'll be hearing from Dan Goldman about the federal government's role in making sure we have the money we need here to provide resources for our families. Let's give a round of applause to Congressman Dan Goldman. My partners in state government, Senator Brian Kavanaugh and Assembly Member Harvey Epstein, two great leaders, champions for their district. You'll be hearing from Rachel Sabella, the director of No Kid Hungry New York. I like the sound of that. No Kid Hungry, Rachel. Like your branding there. Sonny Rudd, the parent and instructor of Grown Up and Me, and also I hope we get to meet little Rob. Robin's here. Robin's asleep. Okay. All right. Number one rule of being a parent, never wake a sleeping baby, right? Never, ever. And Jenny Dombrow and Michelle, as I mentioned. We also have our commissioner, Barbara Gwynn here, who oversees this for us, and many, many others who've joined us. This is a team effort, right? This is a team effort. Not one person, not one organization, not one elected official can do this alone. We are collective in our efforts to fight for New York families. And as I mentioned this a lot, but I want to say it again, as New York's first mom governor, I know what this is all about. And I know that I'm tracking inflation, the cost of groceries are up 23%, and it's just putting too much on our families. So today, I'm announcing we're sending over $200 million in summer EBT funds to over 1.5 million children across the state of New York. That'll deliver. That'll deliver $120 per child food assistance. And here's the issue. There's still hundreds of thousands of kids who are eligible and their parents have not taken advantage of this, right? They don't know, it's hard, it's bureaucracy. How do we figure this out? We're gonna have the applications open till September 3rd for more assistance. Please help us get that message out. Help our families get this money because they need it. They need it. So working parents, go to ny.gov/summer EBT. I'll say that again, newyork.gov/summer EBT, and see if you're eligible. And also, it's easy to apply, right? People don't know that. Government must be hard, I'm not gonna do it, right? We're changing government. We're making it easier for people, making people who are eligible for one assistance program eligible for others automatically. That's how you start making life easier for our families. And it's also another example of how we're putting money back in the pockets of working families, working New Yorkers. And this summer alone, the cumulative effect of what we're doing in childcare, nutrition programs, tax credits, we're putting over $500 million in direct assistance back to families in need just this summer alone. That's how you start making a difference in a place like New York. So that families who are both eligible for summer EBT and our tax credit could receive as much as $450 per child. 3 children, 4 children, $450 per child in the coming weeks. That's how you start lifting families up, and we're going to keep doing that together. This is a positive impact. This is positive for our families. And as a result, families can worry a little less about what they have to do for our kids and feeding them and the cost of child care. Anybody know what the cost of child care is? Oh, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people do it. 2 children, you know, an infant and a toddler, $27,000 for child care on average. For many families, it's $350 a week. Here's what we just did. I want to make sure everybody knows this. A family of 4 earning $108,000 a year. If you're below that threshold, your child care expenses will no longer be $350 a week on average. They'll be capped at $15. Let that sink in. Let that sink in of what that does. Capped at $15. That's a real difference in people's lives. So this year, this fall, right now, the checks are going out. The assistance is there. We're helping struggling families because we know that it's now time to start buying that new pair of sneakers and buying all the supplies and buying the backpacks and the new clothes that the kids want to wear. Don't worry about buying them cell phones. That's another topic. I couldn't help it. This is what government does. This is why government can make a difference. When government works together at the state, federal, local levels, this is what we can do. And I do want to give another thanks to people like Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, our Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and here we have our Congress, I almost called you a slime member, sorry, our great Congressman, Dan Goldman, who helped make this happen. So I want to thank all of you for being the true believers, the fighters out there, knowing who we have their backs, and I want them, everyone to know that. We're fighting for New Yorkers, families, the families that come through here, the families that live in this neighborhood, the families who live all over the state of New York, because they deserve champions. All of you are champions, and I'm really proud to have this announcement with all of you here today. Thank you very much, everyone. With that, Assembly Member, Congressman Dan Goldman.
Thank you so much, Governor. Thanks for all your work on this and highlighting what is a fabulous program that really needs to be taken advantage of. Michelle, Jenny from the Girls Club, thanks for hosting us. For those who don't know, the work that is done here is unparalleled. It is a model for the entire city and the state, and we're going to work hard to continue to scale it up with you. My elected friends, Councilmember Rivera, Assemblymember Epstein, Senator Kavanaugh, thank you all for being here and for your help and support in doing this. I want to recognize Commissioner Barbara Gwynn and also the USDA Regional Administrator Lisbeth Silberman, who's here from the federal government administering these funds. Food insecurity is a major, major issue throughout the city. There are 1 in 5 American children are going hungry, and in New York City that number is 1 in 4. And during the summer, it gets so much worse because school lunches and breakfasts are not available. That is why the summer EBT program is so essential for our families in New York City. This was included by Democrats in the last Congress, passed into law by President Biden and Vice President Harris. But as the governor says, that's just the first step. That's not the last step. And what it takes is a lot of coordination between the USDA, between the governor and the state legislature, and all the way on down to our local officials who execute it, who implement the program. And we, with OTDA, held a roundtable last month to try to get the word out about this program. It is essential for families who rely on that food assistance during the year. And we don't want federal money to go unused. We don't want that for a lot of reasons. One is it's money that is available, it's hard fought, hard won, and it needs to be used. But if it goes unused, it gets used against us. The next time we are trying to fund a program like summer EBT, like affordable childcare, like child tax credits, like paid family leave, we get thrown back in our face by Republicans, well, we have given all this money and it doesn't even get used. That is not something that we should ever, ever have to address or deal with. Food insecurity is something that my office has been really focused on. The concept of community project funds, used to be called earmarks, was reintroduced a few years ago, and I'm proud that 3 of our 10 projects that we were able to fund related to food insecurity and trying to scale up as much food distribution as we possibly can so that our children do not go hungry. I'm a member of the Dad's Caucus. The governor is the first mom governor. I have 5 kids. Yeah, it's a lot. But it's, it's the greatest thing in the world, but it's also the most stressful thing in the world. And that's why we are continuing to fight as part of the Dad's Caucus, as part of the Democratic Party. We are fighting for programs that make things a little bit easier, a little more affordable for working families. And let me just add one note. This is not giveaways. This is not just spending money that we don't have. These programs, many of these programs, are a net benefit to our economy. They reduce the deficit. When parents can continue to work in their jobs and they don't have to choose, as the governor said, between childcare and their careers, that benefits the economy. And every dollar that we put into childcare yields far more than $1 of a benefit to our economy. So this is something that is not only good for our families, but it is good for our country. And that's why we need to keep pushing forward to make sure that our working families can get by and get ahead. So thank you all for being here, and thank you, the governor, for making sure that this is happening. Sign up by September 3rd. Let's get the word out. Everybody needs to know about this. And there's perhaps no one better, no organization better in the city to make people aware of all of the various food programs than No Kid Hungry. And I want to bring up Rachel Sabella, the director of No Kid Hungry.
Thank you, Congressman, for those kind remarks. We're so lucky to have you and our entire congressional delegation fighting each day in Washington, D.C. to expand programs that help connect New Yorkers with meals. I want to thank Governor Hochul for today, for your kind remarks, as well as leading with heart and a commitment to New Yorkers. You continue to prioritize funds for programs that connect New Yorkers with meals. I remember one of your first acts as governor. We were in Brooklyn as you signed legislation tied to SNAP, establishing the restaurant meals program and making permanent online purchasing. You've expanded access to no-cost school meals to 88% of children in our great state, and now you're leading the way on Summer EBT, a transformative program for families. We are grateful for your leadership. My name is Rachel Sabella, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the director of No Kid Hungry New York. As a New Yorker, you can hear it in my accent, this work is personal to me, and each day we work to connect kids and families with meals, especially the 1 in 5 kids in New York State that could face hunger this year. This is truly a monumental day, celebrating the launch of Summer EBT in New York. No Kid Hungry and other anti-hunger advocates, who I'm so proud many of them are in the room with us today, have been championing Summer EBT for the better part of a decade. And I truly believe it will be a game changer in addressing the long-standing challenge of feeding kids during the summer months. By providing $120 per child directly on a debit card that can be spent at grocery stores and local markets, anywhere that accepts SNAP benefits, Summer EBT makes it easier for eligible families to buy food for their children. It helps ensure children get the nutrition they need in the summertime when schools are closed, and helps families who often see a strain on their grocery budget during summer break. We recently did a poll of New Yorkers, and 85% of respondents said that their incomes were not rising as fast as grocery prices. So this benefit comes at an especially critical time for families. We also know that summer EBT will support the local economy and allow these federal funds to be reinvested in local businesses and even in New York products. We're also hearing excitement from parents. On a recent site visit, parents said to myself and my team, "I just got summer EBT. I am able to help my family." Working alongside traditional summer meal programs, summer EBT gives families an opportunity to choose how their kids are supported during the summertime, giving them dignity and choice. As you heard from the governor, as you heard from the congressman, we need everybody's help getting the word out about this. While many families are automatically getting this benefit, we need others to apply online. We have the date and information right here by September 3rd. New Yorkers looking to see if they qualify can head to the New York State's Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance for the most up-to-date information. We are excited to be a part of this event and to help make sure families know about summer EBT and use that benefit. Thank you for your support and working together to make No Kid Hungry a reality in New York and across the country. And now it is my honor and privilege to introduce Sunny Rudd, parent and instructor here, also parent of an adorable child that I hope everybody will get to see today, but I'm thrilled you're going to get to hear from Sunny. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sunny. My first job obviously is being a mother to my beautiful 2.5-year-old Robin. I'm also an instructor here and I lead a Grown Up and Me cooking class over at the Center for Wellbeing and Happiness. That's for parents and all of our littles under the age of 5. So we focus on kitchen safety and exposing our kids to a wide variety of foods at a young age. Yeah, that's what I do. I also run an organization called For the Family, NYC, and we are the authors of our viral WIC cookbook. So people that have to use the WIC program, which has a more limited food supply available to them than the SNAP program, it gives them tips and recipes for utilizing those ingredients. There's nothing more beautiful than watching children grow up in New York City. Watching them wave to strangers on the train, tasting pizza, oxtail, empanadas, mangoes for the first time, building relationships with their peers and community, and watching the cherry blossoms bloom along with them every spring. That joy is sacred and something that all New York parents share. We're so excited to welcome Governor Hochul into our community here at the Lower East Side Girls Club, and we want to thank her for her commitment to ensuring working families have the resources to support their kids. As a single mom, I learned not only the challenges that are presented in New York City raising her, but the value of utilizing my community resources that are made available to parents. As Governor Hochul said, the summer EBT program is providing up to $120 per child to help feed families with those kids when they come home hungry after playing outside all summer. If you're a parent who's not already signed up to receive the summer EBT for your child, remember what Governor Hochul said. Go to ny.gov/summer-EBT before September 3rd to learn about eligibility and to apply. This program is just one of the ways that New York is helping put money back in the pockets of families, and it's important that we as parents are taking advantage of all of our resources. Just last week, Governor Hochul announced that New York is sending $350 million to families that received the Empire State Child Tax Credit. That money will be going back into our pockets just in time for them to go to school. And there are also resources for parents like the state's Child Care Assistance Program and the Women, Infant, and Children's Program. These programs add up and they make a difference in our lives. So I want to say thank you to Governor Hochul and your team for everything that you've done to adjust the cost of living for working families. And I'm excited to continue spreading the word to make sure that parents across New York City and New York State know about all of these resources that can help create a brighter future for our children. Thank you.
Please remain seated as we take photos.